Hi Nandhini. Let's now have a look at your essay about shops and extended business hours. Experts throughout both the developing and the developed world have debated the need for stretched business hours at retail outlets around the globe. Okay. Considering this, the trend of shops functioning late hours have become increasingly common, and I strongly agree that this practice offers a plethora of benefits to the shopkeeper and the customers. Okay. This essay will discuss the advantages of extended business hours using examples from the UK government and research from Harvard University to demonstrate points and prove that this practice paves the way for positive development. Great. By the way, you were asking about your style in the email. So I must say that you have a very, very smooth style. At least this is what I can see in this introduction. Your idea flows very well, and it's very easy to understand what you mean. So yeah, you're quite coherent. Okay, but let's fix a couple of minor things. I wouldn't say stretched business hours. I would say the need for lengthening business hours, or for, let's say, you can use extending because there are a few verbs that will actually work. But then we have hours 1, then we have hours 2 and hours 3. So perhaps we could find another way of saying that. Okay. Another thing. Really like the way you use a plethora of, but I would say a plethora of benefits to both uh, for both the shopkeeper and the customers. Yes, and this is how you emphasize the two parties. Okay, nice. Let's go on. The recent change of shops stretching their business hours for almost every day can offer significant business benefits. Okay, we have stretch again and hours again. So rephrase if you can. What do you mean for almost every day? I mean, I know what you mean by the rest, but do you mean that this extension happens every day, or what exactly? The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, it will generate more footfall into the store and improve sales. Yes, very nice way of saying that. Great vocabulary, footfall, look at that. This in turn will improve the income and profits uh, of the shop owner. Okay. I don't know why you need to say both income and profits, because you're kind of redundant. So perhaps you could stick to profits only, and maybe find a more sophisticated word for improve in this case. Maybe, I don't know, double, or something that would collocate well with profits, but would be more complex than improve. You see, you have improve here and improve there. Do we have any other improve in this paragraph? No, but you have another stretching, right? Okay. Okay. I really like the way you say this in turn. So you create this very good causal connection. This is largely because customers are now driven more towards instant gratification and impulsive buying rather than planned purchase. Okay. How is well, that's a very nice sentence, and you use topical vocabulary, which is great, but I don't see an immediate connection behind instant gratification and impulsive buying and longer business hours. If you mean that, and of course you mean that, perhaps a bit more explanation. Uh, how is this exactly largely because of the long hours? For example, recent empirical research by the UK government has proved that 36% of shopkeepers in the Manchester Trafford Mall have paid higher income taxes to the government after extending the shop working hours from 6 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Okay, and if they paid higher income taxes, is it because the taxes are higher or because they earned more? Because if you say they did this, it doesn't mean that does it right away mean that they earned more? If yes, mention that because it is clear to me, it might be clear to you. What if it's not clear to another character? It must also not be forgotten that this practice will also generate more employment opportunities to the locals. Okay, I beg your pardon. Thus it is, okay, and that's it, right? How about, okay, this sentence is a standalone sentence. Look, you, okay, you said firstly, right? You said firstly. I'm trying to find the secondly. Firstly, for example, and so on. So, if you say firstly, because you said the reason behind this is twofold, and the first argument is it will generate income and it will improve sales and the profit of the shop owner, that's great. But look at the whole support structure. You have the supporting idea, you have the example, great. What do you have for the second part of the second leg of the reason? Only one sentence. So you probably mean secondly, it must also not be forgotten that this practice will also generate more employment opportunities to the locals. Example at least. Example at least. And remember, if you use firstly, you cannot simply drop whatever you have next and say and use another linking word. You better say secondly because it will have the impression that you only used firstly and then forgot about your list. Okay, similarly, stores functioning till late hours, great rephrase. Yes, very nice rephrase. Every day can be highly beneficial to the customers. This is mainly due to the fact that professionals like nurses, you don't need to capitalize the professions. No, please no. Security guards, cab drivers, and call center executives who work on night shifts can do their shopping at ease without any hassle. Great. And wary of shops closing early. Absolutely great. But make sure that you don't capitalize the professions. There is absolutely no need. Moreover, consumers can also avoid the usual rush, which is predominantly common during peak business hours, and enjoy their shopping time. Yes, awesome. For instance, numerous studies by Harvard, again, conducted at Harvard University. You cannot say by Harvard, please. No, you cannot do that. No. Has proved that 56% of working professionals in the USA have preferred to shop in a store which is congestion free and in late evenings. Nice, 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 nice. Therefore, it is possible to state beyond doubt that extended business hours will not only improve the income Okay, no, 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 no. If you say this, will not only improve the income of the shopkeeper, why are you concluding on the idea from the previous paragraph? If you wanted to do this, move this sentence to the final sentence here. Well, here you say, thus it is conclusively clear that structuring business schedule at shops can definitely improve the economic growth in a society. Yes, because it's both for the shop owner and for the employee. That is awesome. But here you are summarizing the idea about the shopkeeper's profit. You don't need to be redundant, please. You can simply say, provide ample opportunities to attract a new customer base, which is awesome. To conclude from the reasons and examples given, I firmly believe that stretching store operation, not functioning, operation hours is certainly a positive development to the society and its people due to the imperative benefits it offers. It could be predicted that this trend will be significantly growing in importance. Okay, how about I would say not in important, in use perhaps, or in implementation will be significantly will be implemented more significantly more often, something like this, because I really hate the word importance. It's so basic. So if you can avoid the word important, avoid the word important because there are better synonyms to it, like relevant, crucial. So they are all important, but they're all different and very precise in their own way. Okay, yes, this is a very nice essay. It's easy to understand you. Apart from the minor things that I told you, this needs to have, secondly, it needs to have this development part just as your first argument, a leg of the argument had. Look, if I highlight this, and this is the whole space taken by the, firstly, right, by the first part of your reason, right, the central reason behind this is twofold. And this is the second. It is imbalanced. There is no balance here, and you will lose points in task achievement because you are not giving equal space to both parts of your reason. Okay, so make sure that it is balanced. Other than that, you have great vocabulary, you have a great style, you preserve the appropriate tone, and it is easy to understand. You just make sure that you're always coherent and balanced. Okay, now the letter of complaint, right? Dear sir, madam, great. I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction with your restaurant service and quality of food served, you could say, to us on date. It was my parents' wedding anniversary, and I had booked. Right, we can't use present perfect because that refers to results in the present. You speak about an occurrence in the past, right? It was. So there is no place for present perfect there. You can say I had booked, yes. To accommodate 15 of our guests and an additional side table for my family members a fortnight ago. We had also customized the menu, or you could say we had also have the menu customized to make this dinner a memorable one for my parents. To make this dinner memorable for my parents, you don't really need the one structure here. Yet, and the linking word would be in place here because you need linking words. To my disappointment, we were asked to wait for 45 minutes. You can say for a whole 45 minutes, in spite of being present at the time allocated for us. Or you can say scheduled for us. I wouldn't say allocated. When we say allocate, for example, I allocate 15 minutes for each video correction. So this is about a span of time. But you refer to a spot, right? Like let's say you had to come at 6 p.m., for instance. So I would rather say scheduled. Adding to the regret of choosing your restaurant, the starters served were absolutely tasteless and smelled stale. Okay. In addition, the proteins served for the main course were uncooked. What do you mean by the proteins? Protein is a substance. You can use the word protein in a scientific context or in the context of dieting, staying fit, and all that. So perhaps you should be more specific and say meats or shrimp or whatever there was. But no, not proteins. No, you cannot say that the proteins were uncooked. No, sorry. This has certainly spoiled or ruined the mood for celebration and embarrassed me and my parents in front of all our guests. Okay, definitely. Considering that the restaurant was completely packed, okay, this is informal and this is a formal letter of complaint. Perhaps you might reconsider and say, okay, and say, full, yes, just full, and the chefs were inundated with a huge list of orders. I politely paid the check of £650 and walked out quietly, not only to respect your other customers' privacy, and perhaps these customers should be plural and possessive, but also to save your brand name and reputation. Okay, however, I would say I am now interested to know how your restaurant could compensate for the distress that I and my family and I, it's more polite, underwent, along with a refund of the bill amount. Having not heard from you for the last 2 weeks, I would like you to take quick action on this. Failing to do which, I will write a negative, not bad, negative review or an extremely negative review on social media and provide an equally negative ranking on food blogs and forums, which is your main source of retaining existing customers. You can also say clientele if you want to say, and attract A source of retaining and attracting, right? A source of retaining and attracting a new consumer base. Yes, I would say client base, not consumer base. Consumer is more for the things that we buy in grocery shops. Awaiting, I will be or I shall be awaiting a swift response and immediate action on this complaint. Please make sure you use full sentences. You're being very serious and very formal, right? Yours faithfully, Nandhini Navin. Yes, this is an absolutely great letter. You, Nandhini, you are an expert on letters. You wrote me an amazing, impressive cover letter, and this is an impressive letter of complaint. So you are the expert, trust me. The only question here is, why is it so long? This is very, very long. So remember, keep to the word limit and do not exceed the word limit by more than, let's say, 30 words, I would say, 30, 40 words. At best, 50, but no, 50 is too much. But anyway, this is a great letter with all the minor things that I have corrected. Keep up the great work. And remember, in order to make sure that you can write everything in time, plan before you write. When you write, don't add ideas and leave yourself 7 minutes at the end to proofread and make corrections. And that will ensure that the quality of your writing is absolutely great, because you are a great writer. You have a great style. You have a great vocabulary. You have a great feeling of language. You have been using the language for many years. I can see this. I can feel this. But you really need to concentrate on clarity, coherence, and accuracy in the minor things, right? You know what I mean. I have commented on this previously as well. So all the best of luck for your exam. I'm sure you will return with a great score, and all the best of luck.